Hey everyone. So this is Greg Mitchell, Ultimate Sports Talk, and I'm doing something a little unique. I traveled from Chicago to Texas um, by myself to go to an indie wrestling show. It's called Pele Pro Wrestling here in Arlington, Texas, where I am now. This is my hotel room behind me. And, um, I guess I'm doing this sort of to I guess, go back and remember why I did this to begin with. Um, so yesterday, got on the flight, was very excited. It was 5:30 in the morning. We took off at 8 from O'Hare, landed in Dallas Fort Worth, and got to the hotel pretty quickly and realized that they don't have an early check-in. Check-in for them is 3 p.m. So I had to kill some time and ended up walking quite a bit yesterday. But the nice thing is I stay right across the street. I stay at a Days Inn right across the street from the Dallas Cowboy Stadium, and the Cowboy Stadium is just amazing. Now I saw it with no cars parked in the parking lot. I mean, nothing's going on. They're doing a little bit of construction outside of one of the wings of the stadium. But again, that's on the outside. I do intend on doing a tour of the stadium. I'm here. I'm so close. I definitely want to see the inside. But I just kept thinking, like, in 2 weeks, when WrestleMania hits, this place is just going to be insane. um, I can't even begin to imagine how packed it's going to be when for 2 nights in a row they have a jam-packed stadium, hopefully sold out. I think they're getting closer, but yeah, I was really really impressed. So it was my first thing when I got to Arlington was I walked around the AT&T Stadium on the outside, took a lot of pictures. I'll probably do some of that again today because again, it's just so awesome. Me being a former football coach, it's just crazy to me to think that football is played inside of that building. It's very very impressive. Um, then I walked up the street because I'm on a workout plan right now. I signed up with Beachbody Online back in January 1st actually, and started doing the Body Beast program, which is a lot of weightlifting, a little bit of cardio slipped in there, but mostly weightlifting, which is a little bit more my style. Um, and so I did that, and I don't want to lose traction on that program, so I do want to continue to work out while I'm here, which it really made me think about the the wrestlers who are out there traveling all the time. I mean, whatever your home base is, it just when you're not at your home base, um, whether it's like WWE and you're in Hartford, or you're down in the Performance Center, or whatever. Once you start traveling, it's very very different, and to try to get a good workout in is challenging. So I was fortunate enough. I looked online for this for quite a while. I was trying to find a gym that was nearby, and the nearest Planet Fitness was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 miles away. Like, there's no way I can do that. I don't have a rental car. I don't intend on getting a rental car. I'll probably Uber or Lyft or whatever they have here, take a taxi down to the Pele Pro show on Saturday once we have that. But other than that, I'm trying to stick here locally around the stadiums. Six Flags is here. The Texas Rangers Stadium is here. They've got a Texas Live, which is interesting. I want to definitely check that out. They got Hooters, B Dubs. They got a studio movie grill, movie theater. Um, which I didn't do any of the food. Um, but the movie theater experience itself was okay. Coming from Chicago, I think maybe I'm a little spoiled in that regard, because the movie theaters in Chicago are always very nice. They called it premium reclining seating, and I I think my recliner at home is probably more comfy than more comfortable than the seat that I was in. It's very, very hard to recline. It was manual. There was no like automatic button. Um, and yeah, I wasn't thrilled. I'm getting off the beaten path here, but I saw Uncharted, um, with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Okay movie. I don't know if it was because I had done so much walking that I ended up falling asleep or that I had an early morning, but I fell asleep through most of the first half hour. I kept waking up and catching bits and pieces. And then finally I like straightened up in my chair and I'm like, I'm going to watch this movie. Um, but yeah, I wasn't overly thrilled with the movie. Yeah, but I had to kill some time anyway. Again, they wouldn't let me check in until after 3 o'clock. It was crazy because I ended up getting back to the hotel and around 1:30 when they told me to come check again. And they said, "Yeah, we've got a room." I'm like, "Okay, great." And then they said, "Well, it's a $25 charge for an early check-in." Like, so all I need to do is wait for another hour and a half, and I can get in for free. Like, why wouldn't I just do that? So anyway, so I walked around a lot yesterday. Um, After the AT&T Stadium, I walked up to the Y to get back to the whole workout thing I was mentioning earlier. There was a Y, or is a Y, about a 10-minute walk. I think on Google Maps it says it's about 15, but I've been the pace that I'm going at, it's usually about 10-minute walk. Done it now 4 times and in one day, so I'm used to it at this point. So yeah, it's about a 10-minute walk from the Days Inn across from AT&T Stadium up to the Y. They've got a really good set of dumbbells, multiples of most of the weights. They've got several different benches, all the machines that you would normally see at a typical gym. Um, and then they've got a basketball court all down on the main level. Upstairs, they have a walking track around the edge, and then all the cardio equipment, the bikes, treadmills. They've got a stepper. Um, they even have one of those hand cranks, crank machines, which I don't see too often. And then I think they had one or two rowers. So a lot of different variety there. I ended up getting a non-member pass, is what he called it, for a week, and it was $20. So for anybody who's going to be in the area in a couple of weeks, I think that was a really good deal, and their hours are reasonable. They've got yeah, not a lot of people that showed up, both in the morning when I was there and then in the afternoon. So it was good. It was really good. Um, so after the Y, it was close to getting around lunchtime, so I stopped by on my way back to the hotel at a B Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings. For those of you who aren't familiar with what B Dubs means, um, and I had some naked tenders, which were really good with the honey barbecue sauce, also really good. And then the veggies on the side, celery and carrots. Again, with this new exercise program, I'm trying to stick to the nutrition as well. So I didn't want to ruin it with a lot of breaded stuff. March Madness is here. Today is Thursday, so the big start of the tournament. So I'm intending on probably today or tomorrow spending most of my time at either Hooters or B Dubs, watching a lot of the games. Um, so that's what I'll be doing, and I know I'll probably be eating some less than desirable foods at either of those two places. So I want to try to stick to a decent nutrition plan. Even though, again, like for those of you who travel, and you're outside of your home base, you don't have a lot of control over the types of foods that you eat, and unless you go to like a store and you're making your own things. But in a hotel, like here at the Days Inn, there's no refrigerator, there's no microwave, there's nothing for me to do to try to cook anything unless I just got bread and, sort of sandwich meat, or maybe like a disposable cooler or something that I could try to keep things cold in. But the good news is, for those of you coming again in 2 weeks, if you're going to be in this area, there is a Walmart about a block away. So you could definitely pick up groceries and things there. I don't know what their stock looks like. I did not stop in there yesterday once I found out that there wasn't anywhere for me to really store food. Um, I might go later today and get some fruits. But the hotel here does have, they call it take it and go breakfast, which is really like prepackaged muffins and apple or orange juice in containers, and maybe an apple that you can grab. Oh, they do have yogurts. I think they're not Yoplait. I don't know what brand they are, but um, they did have some yogurts, and a lot of that. I don't want to run through my carbs allotment for the day on things like that. I want to actually get something good. Um, so I ended up just grabbing an apple and a bottle of water, and then I have some breakfast essentials that I brought from home, one of the packets. So I put that in with some water and mix that up. Normally I have that with milk, so it's more watery than I'm used to, but it's okay. It'll get me through the day. So yeah, and the other piece that I've been thinking about a lot now that I've been here for pretty much a whole day by myself, um, is like I'm really starting to miss my family, miss my wife, miss my two daughters. I'm missing Chicago. Texas is great, and the things around here are really awesome, but it's very, very different than Chicago. This is my first time in Texas, so I really wasn't sure what to expect. I knew that it was going to be different, and largely that the weather would be better, which it has been. It's been in the 70s for most of the time that I've been here. So fantastic weather, but there's so much space in between things. And like, you look on a map, and that was part of what was really difficult, trying to map out what I was going to do over the 5 days or so that I'm going to be here. Was everything looks like it could be within walking distance, but then you actually get here and it's like, how far is it really? So a block in this area is a lot different than a block in Chicago. So, and I'm sure a lot of you who are familiar with that are probably like, well, yeah, duh. But it's just, that's what made it hard when I was trying to plan, because I did battle a lot with, do I want to get a rental car? And I opted not to try to save some money. Like, there's a lot of things nearby. Hopefully I can just stay entertained for a few days, doing things that are here locally. I shouldn't need anything. And then the one trip, like I said, I'll just get an Uber or taxi or something and take me there and back. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling missing my family a lot. Um, I've not been away from them for, gosh, a long time. It's been a while. I honestly can't remember the last time I've been away from them, now that I think about it. But I kept playing around in my head with like, what would I do this video on? And what do I want to do with these videos? Because I knew I wanted to do something. I definitely want to do more for the website. And this is a really, really amazing trip that I'm on. Um, Even though it's a small independent show, um, maybe they'll have a couple hundred people, maybe. I don't know if they'll even have that. But like, Davey Richards is going to be on the show. They're going to have Cam Cole for a lot of you who don't know who Cam Cole is, he was a big name and still is a big name in reality of wrestling. Um, they have um, Chandler Hopkins is also someone you've probably seen on AEW Dark quite a bit, but I've watched a lot of his matches in different groups. You can YouTube Cam Cole and Chandler Hopkins, and you can find a whole bunch of matches. I definitely recommend signing up for Title Match Network or Fight TV Plus. There are so many amazing independent shows that you can get off of both of those memberships. I highly, highly recommend it. But yeah, I mean, there's gonna be there, and so all three of them are facing each other at this show for the Pele Pro Championship. I'm fully expecting that Cam Cole will probably lose it at this point, but I'm excited about just seeing them live. They're all really, really good. The you know the other match that I'm really excited about is Mysterious Q is taking on the Magnificent Malico, and I laugh when I say Malico because if you're unfamiliar with who that is, just do some YouTubing and search for him. A lot of clown garb. It's got dreadlocks and very, very unique character. And so I've watched every Pele Pro match, every event that I could possibly get my hands on since they started. And Malico is a staple for their shows. I think he's been on, if he hasn't been on every show, he's been on almost every show. And no match is the same. His personality isn't always the same either. Sometimes he's like nonstop joking. Sometimes he's like, "Ha ha, I'm gonna kill you." Like there's a lot of unique stuff with this character, and you don't know what to expect. He always keeps you guessing. And so like this match, I 100% think that Mysterious Q is going to win. If you don't know who Mysterious Q is, you need to Google or YouTube him. What a guy. I mean, he can go. I mean, recently he's had a lot of matches outside of Pele Pro, outside of even the Texas area. He's getting booked, and he's going to be on some bigger shows. I 100% believe that. So you really need to spend some time getting familiar with who that is, because he's got the goods. I mean, this guy can move. Now, I haven't heard him ever talk. He reminds me a lot of like a probably a combination between like Sub-Zero and Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Like his mask is really unique, but it's very similar to like Glacier's mask in the old WCW. Like really, just around here, it's not a full garb, at least not that I recall, but it's mostly right here like this. So you see everything from here up. But I don't hear him talk a lot, at least not on the videos of his matches. Um, but he is extremely athletic and he can go. He can go. I would not be surprised if even Pele Pro, after this match with Malico on one of their upcoming events, makes him a number one contender, because I think he's there. He's there right now, 100%. He could definitely have a match with a Davey Richards or a Cam Cole or a Chandler Hopkins, and it would be fantastic. It would be so worth the cost of the event. So I'm very excited about the event. Yes, I miss my family, and why would I come here for 5 days basically by myself? And I say basically because I wasn't supposed to be by myself. I was supposed to have a family member traveling with me, and work plans ended up canceling that person's ability to come. So it ended up just being me. But I keep thinking like this is one of the few opportunities I'm gonna have to do something like this. And so I want to get the most out of it. And this type of show, I mean, well, first of all, I've never been to Texas, never seen AT&T Stadium. There's already been some things that I've not done. I mean, I posted something yesterday, like on Twitter, hashtag making memories, because like I'm doing things that I have not ever done, that I don't know when I would ever have an opportunity to do, at least not with my entire family. So to have this week or so to be by myself and to go do something like this is really, really special. Um, and even though things may not always be great, like the hotel's not fantastic. I mentioned challenges with like food and working out and those kinds of things. Like it definitely gives me a special appreciation for those of you who do travel a lot, or for performers that travel and still have to try to keep up their bodies, still have to try to live while all that's happening. Um, but this is a really awesome opportunity, and I love wrestling. I just do. I love it a lot. Um, I've tried to watch as much as I possibly could. It got a little stale for me personally. I mentioned this on one of my pro wrestling journey posts on Ultimate Sports Talk. I think the first one, when I mentioned what I was going to try to do with Pro Wrestling Journey. Um, it got a little stale. WWE's content was all kind of just blending together. I didn't feel like I was really surprised, or um, I don't want to say impressed, but impressed might be the best word to describe it. I didn't feel like I was as engaged as I normally would be. And AEW was knocking it out, but even with some AEW events, I just get to the point where like their pay-per-views, I feel like they've set the bar so high for themselves that every single match has to be an amazing match, or else the fans are disappointed. But then they've also set themselves up for like pay-per-views have to be about 4 or 5 hours long. It's like when you're on edge as a fan for 4 or 5 hours, like at the end of it, you're exhausted. I mean, and that's what I keep feeling. I mean, even this last event that they just had, the main event was was really a good match. I mean, it really was. Not Daniel Bryan, um, Adam Cole and their champion. Gosh, you guys are gonna kill me. Hangman Page. There we go. Adam Cole, Hangman Page. I mean, it was really a good match, but I was so done, like emotionally, physically, and it was so late already in the evening. I was tired. I just, and I didn't watch it with the same energy that I would have if it would have been, middle of the card, early on in the card. So that's one thing that I do really appreciate with WWE is that their shows, other than the 2 night super stupendous whatever WrestleMania, most of their events, you get your 3 hours in and you're done. And you've got ebbs and flows. Not every match can be the main event worthy match. Um, but you get some surprises. You get um, you get even the bathroom break match, which I know a lot of people are like, "Ah, why do you have that?" I actually, after watching some AEW events where there are no bathroom break matches, there's no real dead time. It's just go 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 go, and you don't want to miss anything. I appreciate it. It's like thank you for giving me an opportunity to breathe, or to let all the hormones and whatever's going through my body to just relax for a few minutes before you give me another really cool match. Um, so anyway, so going back to Pro Wrestling Journey, I I just felt like it was all stale, and I wasn't as excited about things as I normally would be on TV. So I wanted to start watching some new things. Warrior Wrestling, based out of Chicago, for the most part. Although at this point in 2022, they've done more Indiana shows than they have Chicago shows. Um, it's that's a fantastic promotion. As part of this, I signed up for Title Match Network because I really liked the Mission Pro Wrestling, Thunder Rosa's company down in Texas. I really liked their events, so I signed up for the network so that I could watch some of their older shows, and I still really like it. I mean, there's a lot of really good talent there. I know Britt Baker, I think, referred to it recently as a basement promotion, um, but which I don't know if that's a shoot or a work or what it is, but it that cracked me up because um, it's a unique promotion. What I like, my favorite shows are when they do it at the brewery, and all you see are like from 15-foot walls of cans, just stacked up on top of each other. That I like. I like the environment. I'm starting to get pretty close on Twitter with some friends and podcasts that go to the shows regularly and really have a passion for Mission Pro. It's a fun group. But anyway, so on the network, besides Mission Pro, I found Pele Pro. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but let me check it out. I was hooked. I was hooked. I started watching. I think one of the first events. I can't remember which one was the first one that I watched. It wasn't the very first one, but it was a good one. And then I tweeted something out, and the guys at Pele Pro are extremely responsive. So if you are looking for a company that's going to be interactive with you as a fan, they're definitely up there. um I I just tweeted out, I saw this show for the first time, really impressed with so and so. And then, oh, it was Wrestle Pit. It was the very first Wrestle Pit show that they did, Pele Pro and Wrestle Pit together. On it was in Pittsburgh. And so I tweeted out that I was really impressed with Chandler Hopkins because he had a great match on that first show with Joey Sunseri, I believe, and I loved it. I really, really did. It was a great match. They did a great job, and hard for me to believe that at that point Joey Sunseri still wasn't even 1 year into the business yet. Um, he's really, really good especially as a heel. You're not going to see a lot of crazy moves from him. You're going to see. I kind of put him in like the MJF type category. Like, he's not going to be a high flyer. He's not going to do crazy things in the ring, but he's going to be a bad guy, and he's going to be good at it. Um, the fans don't have to guess what's happening in that match. Joey Sunseri is going to be the bad guy, and the other person or people in the match will be probably the faces or baby faces, the good guys. Um, but anyway, so I sent out a tweet, immediately got a response from Pele Pro, and they pointed me in the direction of some matches on their YouTube, and they were some of the best matches I've seen. Chandler Hopkins versus Mike Bennett was one of those. Chandler Hopkins versus Davey Richards, probably the best match that Pele Pro has had is that one. And so I watched those, started watching more Pele Pro. Again, I was hooked. I also, this journey kind of took me on a path of um, Mike Bennett, because I've seen Mike Bennett now several times on Pele Pro. I've seen him on Impact before, and I was aware of his story in WWE, battling with the drug addictions and coming back and being extremely fit, and not getting used very much, getting released. Him and his wife ended up getting released, and then I then the story kind of stopped for me. I wasn't really sure what else had happened, but I saw that he had this match with Chandler Hopkins. I'm like, this is a really great match. What's he doing now? And so then, as part of that, I found his documentary. Um, I'll try to put a link in here below on what network it is. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but I signed up just for 1 month so that I could watch this documentary. And it's basically his, falling in love with wrestling again um, tour. And I just, I felt, even as a fan, like very similar to some of the things that he was saying. Um, Obviously it's really different for me because I'm not in the matches. I've never taken a bump, never done any of that stuff, never gone to a wrestling school. Kind of wanted to, but just never was able to. But it was that documentary is definitely worth watching, and that's when I found out that that match between Chandler Hopkins and Mike Bennett was in that documentary. That was his first match back from being released by WWE. That was his first match on the Indies. Was Mike Bennett's first match. Um, that's awesome, man. So Pele Pro has a really really special history. Even though they just started a couple of years ago, they've got an awesome history. They have some tremendous workers for them. Their interaction with fans on social media is fantastic. Like, that's what gets me excited. That's what gets me going. The closest that I've found to them is, besides like a wrestle pit, like I mentioned earlier, Lady Frost and the Savage Gentlemen, their organization up in Pittsburgh. The closest to them is probably Warrior Wrestling. Now they're getting really big because their shows are very very good, but they still take time to be interactive with fans on social media. They're interactive on Facebook, interactive on, excuse me, on Twitter. And so if that's what you're looking for as a fan, I definitely recommend the independent scene. Check out companies that are closer to you. Now, in Chicago, part of what I don't like is there is a segment of deathmatch wrestling that gets a lot of notoriety around here, and um, there's a couple of leagues, companies on independent wrestling.tv, IWTV. Um, I signed up for their network. I think they're the ones who advertise it's the best $10 every month, something like that, and they do events all the time, and a lot of small ones, a lot of big ones. Sometimes I think Prestige recently has been on there. Their last several events have been on there, and their shows are fantastic. Go back and watch Roseland 2. Shoot, um, you could watch any of the last 3 shows, and they'll all be fantastic. Now, Prestige is over on the West Coast, um, and then they also have. I honestly can't remember, and I apologize for this company and to IWTV for not remembering. But they do every week. They do things on the East Coast. I think it's Wrestling Open is one of them, and I think there's another one. Um, but a lot of names you probably never heard of, never seen, but really good wrestling, like good stuff, and it's smaller venues, so you're not going to see that. That's part of what I enjoy about this level is that you're not going to see the thousands and thousands of fans in the stadiums. You're not going to see that type of venue, but what you are going to see is people who are really, really passionate about what's going on, both in the ring and out of the ring. You've got guys and ladies who want to make a name for themselves or had a name, want to keep it, or want to get somewhere, do something. Some of them is just a paycheck, but a lot of them are have goals and they're trying to do something in the business. So there's motivation, there's passion. You're not going to go beat yourself up in front of 50 people if you're not really passionate about what you're doing, or you're not trying to get somewhere and do something. So you don't, maybe promoters experience this, but I don't see it a lot as a fan on shows. I don't see somebody treat a match on the indies like it's a stepping stone, because if they did, they probably would not get attention from the bigger companies. So you have to treat every match like this is going to be my best match. So you get so many good wrestling events and wrestling matches at these levels from a lot of people who are just trying to get in or make it or can, keep their name, whatever. So I love it. I love it a lot. And I definitely suggest that if you're only a WWE fan or only an AEW fan or only an Impact fan, definitely take some time and look at some of the indies. I think it was around January, Veda Scott posted on her Twitter that she was challenging fans to just go out there and watch an independent show that you normally wouldn't watch. Watch something from another country, New Japan, All Japan, um, AAA. You can watch so much content on wrestling. There's thousands of hours that exist out there on the internet. Um, just spend some time watching something you're not, and give it a chance. Because I think if you do, you're going to find some amazing, amazing content. I'll leave it here. I've got a lot more to say, obviously. Um, but I'm gonna go to the Y now. I'm gonna go get my workout in. Um, I've got about 2 hours, I think, before the first NCAA men's basketball game show is on today. So I'll probably try to stop in somewhere and watch the games the best that I can today. Um, and then I do want to check out like Texas Live. I hear that there's a lot of places to eat and stuff over there. So I might try to see if they've got a sports bar or something over in that area that I can check out. But again, so many things within walking distance. Yes, I miss my family. Yes, this is a bit of a shock. How things are in this hotel, how things are in Arlington. It's very different than what I'm used to, but I think that was kind of the point. And I'm excited to see what happens the rest of this trip. I'm one day in, so based on that one day, I'd say already it's been a success. I've made memories. I've gotten to experience some things that I haven't already gotten to experience. Um, I'm very pleased, very happy so far, and even the little bit of time here that I've spent just reminiscing over the indies, reminiscing over Pele Pro, telling the story about how I got kind of immersed in Pele Pro content has been really fun for me. I hope it's come across on my face, because I think as I've been telling the stories, I've been smiling a lot more. Um, but it's really, really cool. I'm so excited to be here. So excited for Saturday. You can watch the show on Title Match Network. I believe you can also watch the show on Fight TV. Um, it's definitely worth the price, and I'm excited about this specific show. Uh, and I've only mentioned two of the matches that are going to be on it. There are other fantastic matches. So maybe my next video I'll do kind of like a Pele Pro event pre-show. and kind of talk about what I'm excited about, who's going to be on it, what the matches are that have been announced already. Um, and then I know Pele Pro's already put out there on social media that there will be some surprises. So I'm excited about that. Um, I won't go into what surprises they've had already. I might do that again on the next video, but they're worth it. They're really, really worth it. I don't even know if the fans who are in person know that some of those surprises are happening until they happen. But there's a lot of surprise show ups, people who show up that you didn't expect to see show up. Um, yeah, so very, very cool, and I'm excited. So once in a lifetime opportunity, maybe. Depending on how this goes, I might try to make it a priority to do again. But so far, it's been worth it. So anyway, thank you for listening. If you've listened to all this rambling at this point, thank you so much. Appreciate you watching on my YouTube channel. We will be doing more videos. We will be doing more podcasts. I've got a lot of things lined up that I'm excited. Nothing to announce just yet, but very excited about all the different projects we have underway, and a lot of things in development. So looking forward to continuing to have a fantastic 2022. And thank you so much for listening. Like, subscribe, click the bell notification so that you can see when all the new videos get posted. Um, and yeah, until next time, this is Greg Mitchell, Ultimate Sports Talk. Thank you so much.